What is up, guys? Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today you join me with the most insane gaming PC build I have ever seen, with a Ryzen 9 3900X and RTX 2080 Ti, all fully custom water cooled. This thing is just completely bonkers, so let's jump into it. Now, the system behind me was built up and sent over by a company called Cyberpower PC, who were not only kind enough to sponsor today's video, but also sent me this immense packing list of all the different items and components in this machine, and it's 2 pages long. This system has a list price of over £3,700, or about $4,500 for those of you stateside, which is bloody insane. One of the things that's really unique about this system is that Ryzen 9 3900X. When was the last time you can remember where an AMD CPU was the best option on the market for a really high-end system like this? I mean, spoiler alert, I can't remember because I simply wasn't old enough back in 2006, 2007, 2008 when AMD were the reigning champions. I was about 6 years old, which is nuts. It's bonkers. Arguably though, the thing that makes this system the most special is all that insane water cooling gear. I get a lot of people ask me in the comments, Twitter, Instagram, which you should follow if you aren't already. That was a shameless plug. All the time, James, should I build a system myself or should I go pre-built? I'm a bit nervous, don't really know what I'm doing. Now, especially for a water cooling build, I think this gives you that extra peace of mind. This system was literally delivered on a pallet and weighs an absolute ton. Just roll the clip. This is so heavy. Handle with care. Right, so the best course of action is to... I don't really know, to be honest. I might just tip it upside down and hope for the best. What? Right, if we then actually open the side panel door, you'll be able to see, and some has actually just fallen out, that they pop loads and loads of this anti-static packing material in, and basically, I've just got a glimpse at the system. Oh my goodness me. This is like a reveal. Oh my word, this is ridiculous. Oh wow. Wow. The system comes filled with anti-static packaging material, so you know it's going to arrive, thankfully, in one piece, and the finish on it is fantastic. Remember, this hard tubing is being heated up with a heat gun and then bent to shape and size. That can be something really tricky to get right on your own. I'm building one with another YouTuber next week, and honestly, without his help, I don't think it's something I'd want to approach, and I'm a bit of an experienced PC build-out. That's enough about the very gorgeous water cooling components. What else goes in this rig to really make it tick over? Now, in terms of the case, we've got the Cooler Master Cosmos C700P, but this is the RGB Black Edition, and this is another reason to go for an SI, which is a system integrator. This case, in the UK at least, is exclusive to the likes of Cyberpower PC, so you can't just buy it of your own accord as far as I'm aware. To round off those components, we've got a top-end GPU and motherboard from MSI in the form of an RTX 2080 Ti, the fastest gaming GPU on the market, as well as an X570 motherboard. Corsair HydroX water cooling gear with black RGB CPU and GPU blocks, a 360mm Corsair radiator, hard tubing, and, you guessed it, an RGB pump res combo. Finally, we've also got some Corsair RGB RAM and an NVMe SSD with 1TB of capacity and a 2TB Seagate Barracuda. There's also an 80 plus gold certified 750 watt power supply in here as well, and loads of RGB that sits alongside Cooler Master's insanely good looking sleeved cable extensions in white and black, which I've used in a couple of builds previously. Remember though, you can alter and change any of these components using Cyberpower's configurator tool which is a win. Your system doesn't have to be the same as anybody else's that they build, which is a really big selling point on the high end. That's enough of the components inside though. Let's now plug this thing in and get playing some games on it. When it comes to gaming on a machine with just this much power, you really can go for the highest settings, the highest resolution, the highest visual fidelity, and achieve, crucially, the highest frame rate. All the gameplay you see on your screen now has been recorded directly from this machine, so you can see what that Ryzen 9 and RTX 2080 Ti pairing really has to offer. In terms of titles like Battlefield 5, this machine is really good for something like ray tracing, where the performance overhead is quite large, but you've got so much power, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. It's a similar story heading over to Overwatch, where you'll be pinned at 60 FPS, 4K ultra settings, and once again results are replicated in the likes of Rainbow Six Siege. A slightly older title now, but still one that looks phenomenal at 4K, crucially hitting 60, 70, 80 frames per second at 4K, which is bonkers. Moving on to the Battle Royale games, Fortnite of course looks fantastic. I mean, this machine's got more than enough power for that title. And even something like Apex Legends, where actually the graphics are sort of up a notch, are going to work really well, 100 FPS plus 4K. This machine's just an absolute beast. Finally, of course, the racing games, the likes of Project Cars 2, are a doddle for this machine. I'd love to give a bit of a triple 4K monitor sim setup a go on a machine with this much power, but for now, 4K ultra settings on a single panel is going to wield you some really, really great FPS. If you've got VSync on, pinned at 60 frames, if not, extending up to 70, 80 frames per second, which is bonkers. Having spent far too long though playing some incredible games at 4K on this system, I think that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a big old like rating and get subscribed and hit the notification bell. Please, it really helps me out. A big thanks to CyberPower though for sponsoring today's video, and as always, we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.